Investors and traders, welcome to the channel Market Chart Pattern. Today is 14th of December 2024. Hope everyone is having a great day and the weekend. We'll be taking a look at the key US technology stocks in this video. This video format is going to be a little bit different. We will be reviewing some individual charts for the historical returns for some of these key tech stocks since October 2022 till yesterday. 13th of December 2024. So ever since this bull market move actually started, we are going to take a look at how these stocks actually, what are the returns they have returned to the investors. So it's going to be pretty interesting to take a look at, a little bit of a different format, but really good and educational value you'll get out of it. As always, this video is for educational purposes only, and it is not a financial advice. So let's start by taking a look at the chart of nvidia. So I'm going to bring it over to the screen, and here we go. The way this chart is constructed is this is the nvidia historical total returns, which means that the dividends are actually invested back, so in other words reinvested, and the data goes back to the October of 2022 till yesterday, 13th of December 2024. On the x-axis is the dates. You can see it's giving the 25th of 2025, but that is just the way the scale is working. On the y-axis we have the return, so you can see that the stock has actually been a phenomenal stock for the investors, and it has returned phenomenal returns, 1000%, in roughly about a couple of years time. So that's really fantastic. Whether the stock is going to continue these kind of returns, this is something which we'll try to evaluate for 2025 using our regular charts, but an amazing performance by this super stock nvidia since October of 2022. Now let's take a look at another favorite of our which we really like to talk about a lot here, which is Tesla. You can see that in comparison to nvidia, a very different kind of a chart. In fact, in 2022 it didn't have that great of a it didn't really perform that well, but towards the end of 2022 and beginning of 2023, this is where the market actually bottomed for Tesla. And this is, you can watch these videos, we actually pretty much nailed that bottom. We had a really key pattern completing around there. The stock had fantastic returns, but somewhere around the middle of 2023, this is where the stock actually really began to decline and retrace quite a bit. And look where it is now. It's returning about nearly about 80% to the investors, those who actually believed in the stock, stuck to it, and now they're being rewarded for it. But again, look at this, ever since the elections in 2024, November of 2024, look at how it is accelerating. It's like a parabola. But a pretty volatile stock for investors to hold. If all those investors who have been holding this, their returns of course is impacted based on the weightage the Tesla stock holds in their portfolio, but pretty volatile stock to hold. But now those investors are being rewarded, so that's something to take a note of. Now let's take a look at Google. Here we go. So Google has returned almost about 100% in this period. You can see that in the first half of 2024, Google kind of peaked out very close to about 100%, but not just being there. And it's just recently, the last couple of days, last week actually, news came out that Google is bringing out quantum chips. I don't know what that means at the moment. I have to do more research about quantum chips, but it has to do with quantum computing. Now, quantum computing, per my knowledge, has existed for quite some time. Companies like IBM, they have done quite a lot of work in this field, but it's just not available at a scale where the individuals are able to use it. So maybe that's going to be an interesting direction where these chips could actually become available for personal computing. So it's going to be an interesting area to watch, and Google shareholders got rewarded quite a bit in the last couple of last week basically. So there we go. This is what we're looking at in terms of Google. And now let's take a look at Amazon. Here we go. So you can see that Amazon stock has also returned about 100%. So very similar to the Google stock. And if you have a portfolio in which you had these stocks such as Google and Amazon, you would have been rewarded quite well. It did have a fair amount of a dip going into since August of 2023, then bottoming around looks like to be in November, where the holiday season really begins. And then we have a dip starting from pretty much the middle of 2024, and this is where the August 5th bottom was for the stock, and we have seen the stock rally from there. And there we go. This is where 100% returns coming in for the investors. Now, this is the one which is really one of my favorite ones, and this is Meta. So the Meta stock has a big turnaround, and this is where you can see that the Meta stock at one point was returning negative, moving into October of 2022. And then there was a big turnaround. It was basically strategy which the Mark Zuckerberg was following with regards to Meta. He did a pivot and went into artificial intelligence. As in my opinion, Meta is a fantastic stock from a perspective of the data available for an artificial intelligence play, and they have done quite a lot of work in the field of artificial intelligence as well. The investors have been rewarded with 350% return. So after Nvidia's 1000%, we have Meta returning about 350%. And in my opinion, it's not done yet. There might be some pullbacks around here. But I think the Meta has actually got a chance to go further in 2025, which we'll discuss in the little bit later on in the video. So a fantastic stock to keep an eye on, and look at this fantastic return it has returned for the investors. Then we take a look at Microsoft. So the Microsoft also did really well throughout this wave of artificial intelligence. The story about the Open AI and the Chat GPT, because they took a stake in the company, and the Microsoft investors have also been rewarded really, really nicely with about 100%, nearly close to 100% return since October of 2022. But what we can see is the Microsoft returns are kind of topping out in the first half of 2024, and we have seen some recovery taking place towards in the second half, especially after the elections. We can see these returns jumping up. So whether it remains to be seen whether in 2025 what kind of performance we might actually expect from Microsoft. But again, a fantastic company. So if an investor had been actually involved in these Mega 7 stocks, such as Microsoft, nvidia, Meta, their portfolios would have done pretty well. And now what I'm going to show you is actually the chart, which is a cumulative chart, which means that I've actually got these plotted on one screen, and I also have Apple in here. I don't have the individual stock at the moment, the chart of the individual stock, but Apple has also returned close to about 80% for its investors in this period. So, majority of these stocks such as Apple, Google, Amazon, they have returned close to 80% to 100% in this time period. Meta has been an exception with the 350% return. I don't have Netflix here, so I need to add that, but that's also in that ballpark figure. And then, of course, nvidia has been the extreme performer with about 1000% returns for the investor. So by looking at this chart, you can clearly see which one has been a much bigger winner, and then Meta is ascending, and these are the other stocks, which is Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. They are kind of returning pretty much about the same for the investors. Where these stocks are different is actually their daily volatility. That is something I will actually bring a chart on to see what kind of volatility we can expect in these individual stocks, because one can have these stocks which are returning, really nice 80% to 100% returns. But if the construction of the portfolio, the way the volatility for those stocks exists on a daily basis and weekly basis, the portfolio construction might look a little bit different in terms of the weightage applied, because the portfolio could be quite volatile if you have some stock such as Amazon, which moves quite a bit, and then some stock like Apple, where the returns are actually fairly evenly distributed over a period of time. So that's an interesting discussion, and I think I will actually work on that to have something where we can discuss this on the channel here. So this is an interesting chart. And now what we'll do is we'll try to get into the individual stocks analysis using the technical analysis. And here we go. So we are looking at the chart of nvidia. So for nvidia, we had our target of about 150 to 155 bucks with a possibility of 170, but this is the first target has been met, and there's a chance that nvidia could remain sideways to down actually for some time. It has given fantastic returns that we have seen for the investors. So it could go through a period where there might be profit taking, or just diversification out of this money, moving out of this stock and moving into some other stocks, such as Meta, or maybe even broadening out as well out of technology. That also remains a possibility. So we'll just keep on watching this. The stock is actually bullish. Look at the 20-week moving average. The price is above that. 89 period moving average, the price is way above that. Look at this channel support line. If there is a pullback, I believe 115 should be a pretty good spot for pretty good support. This is the market symmetry concept we talk a lot about. Previous pullback was about this much. So we could expect the market to just pull back a little bit down here, with a possibility moving into this gray area as well. So that's going to be quite a lot of quite a big retracement if that were to happen. But the 115 is the area, pretty good support. As long as point C is not taken out to the downside, we should be really looking at this stock from a pattern perspective, which is constructed to the bullish side. Now let's take a look at the stock of Tesla. Here we go, another super week for the Tesla stock. Near term, I think it's heading to about 458 to 460, and then of course this is the bigger pattern that we had been looking at for really long-term investors, who are really now getting rewarded. I think the 500 bucks should not be. It's not too far away now. And look at the month is not completely finished yet, but it has already taken out the B point, which means that we are in the CD leg higher. So 500 bucks is gonna be the target on the monthly chart. And with the chart, which is this looking this bullish at the moment, I mean 500 is our target, and the CD leg could actually extend. That remains a possibility. Now let's take a look at Apple. This is the Apple chart. You can see that the month is not over yet, but really positive month, another positive month for Apple, where it just got out of this bit of this consolidation here. It's just moved down to the weekly chart. Here we go. So here we go. So as we all know, if you guys have been following CNBC or some of the financial press, you will know that Warren Buffett has actually been selling a lot of his Apple position. He sold close to about, I believe, $180 billion worth of stock, and he had been just selling it, in the first half, second half as well of 2024. So a big investor actually, reducing his position, and these could be the footprints of that. But now the stock, since you can see that in November after the elections, it has gone and met our first target, 248. This is where 260 to about 270 roughly, where the stock could actually go, and this is where we could have some sort of a more pullback that can happen. But these are also targets for us. This is what we're looking at in the stock of Apple. Then let's take a look at Microsoft. Here we go. So the Microsoft stock actually not doing as well in comparison because it has not taken its all-time highs out yet. But the chances are we could be in this ABCD. But if this fails, this is what we had been discussing, that actually we could see a pullback as even $350 for Microsoft, a really really good company. It's just normal kind of a pullback that can happen. Maybe the kind of investments they have done in artificial intelligence, the market actually might be beginning to expect more out of it, or something new. I do not know exactly, or it might be just some diversification into moving into um, other stocks such as Meta, which could actually really benefit really, really well from the artificial intelligence boom. So that is one possibility. Fantastic company, giving out decent dividends as well. But it looks like more of a consolidation affair right now. So we'll have to wait and see for the price action. But this is holding well around here. Now let's take a look at Netflix. Here we go. Netflix has fantastic move. Honestly, I thought maybe it might get a double top here. This is why I had a double top, and for a while it did look like it might have had a double top around here. But then it retraced to a key level, which is about 61.8% of this move, and roughly very close to 38.2 of here. Pretty good support. This is why we had this channel, and this is when the earnings came up, broke out of the channel, and now it has got a chance to actually reach 1,000. That is amazing. Another stock which we don't normally take a look at is the Broadcom, but it's been in the news. So let's take a look at this and look what happened last week. It's just really, really interesting what has happened in just one day. So we just go to the down to one daily chart. There we go. Look at this big, massive gap, and the company has actually got a valuation of over $1 trillion now. So this has just been a really, really super day. So it says Broadcom was identified as a leading gainer in the communication services sector during the week, highlighting its strong performance among market heavyweights. So we'll have to wait and see. Did give back a little bit of the gains, but nothing really significant. Um, and if the market takes out these lows, that's not gonna be that good for it. So we'll just keep on watching for this, but look at this. It's a really really strong performance coming out of Broadcom. Another one which we normally don't look at, but is the MicroStrategy. This is a pure play on the Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin is kind of hovering around the $100,000 mark, and my opinion is that it could actually remain stuck in that range for quite some time. It might have something to do with the availability or the supply of bitcoins themselves, because of the this invention called ETFs, which you need to get a hold of that supply. So there could be some pressure while that sort of things get worked through that system. So 100,000 mark is roughly where it might just oscillate for quite some time. And what we are looking at in MicroStrategy is, in my opinion, it's quite correlated with the Bitcoin price. So it might remain stuck in this range, maybe pull back a little bit further. Quite a lot of volatility coming into the stock right now. And let's just overlay the Bitcoin and see how the Bitcoin is doing, what sort of relation we have here. So here we go. This is Bitcoin. We can see that it has had a pretty good correlation with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been moving quite a bit since November, especially, and then we have seen this stock rise as well. But this is a pretty big volatility around here, and I don't exactly know what happened on 21st of November. So let me get rid of this. But this is a really really big move the stock lost about $150 in one day. That's a lot of several $billion in valuation. So I don't know exactly, but a lot of volatility in this stock right now. Then let's take a look at the stock of Amazon. So let's move to the weekly. Here we go. So Amazon has hit this target of ours of $130. On the weekly, it has closed unchanged, pretty much doji. Doesn't mean much at the moment. Let's see what sort of follow through we get. It is of course in the holiday season, so normally actually benefits on the retail side quite a lot from the inflows. But this holiday season is also about to conclude. Um, so maybe we might see a pullback happening around here. But it's been a fantastic performer. It's got a chance at $250 as well, but it needs to get above 230 for that on closing basis. And let's take a look at the Shopify. It's also related to e-commerce. This is what we spoke about, $120. This is where the 61.8% retracement is. We have this pattern. I think that's going to be a pretty strong resistance for this stock. And then let's take a look at Roblox. So the Roblox, we have a target of about 67, 65 to 60, anywhere between 63 to 67 is really where I would expect the Roblox to reach eventually. That's going to be 38.2% retracement. It has had a really nice couple of weeks. It broke above all this resistance. So now it should be able to get to about 67, anywhere 63 to 65. $67 per share level, that's going to be my target. Basically, I really wanted to go and test the 38.2% retracement. That's going to be a really good target. It might pull back a little bit, and what it could do is, which would actually be quite nice if it's able to do that, get into this zone, and then if we could see some sort of pullback like this, and then a move out of it, boom. And then getting above the 38.2% retracement. All of this has been a consolidation. If you are a fan of the Wyckoff material, and then this is the spring where a lot of consolidation is happening, and then eventually we are having a breakout. And since the price has been above this key resistance for a couple of weeks, that means, in my opinion, that this might be more of a sustained breakout, and we could see higher prices to come. But this something, a structure like this giving us an ABCD would be really nice, because it could indicate that we might be starting the motive wave, so meaning that we might be starting a bullish move in the stock. So this is what we are looking at and watching for these key stocks. I hope you found this video of educational value, and if you did, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you like our technical analysis, how we look at these markets using pattern recognition, Fibonacci retracements, projections, expansions, extensions, and then please do subscribe to the channel. And if you do, then do hit that bell icon button. That way you will know when the new videos are posted and you will not miss anything. Thank you very much for watching the video. Have a fantastic weekend wherever you are, and we will be speaking to each other soon, as I will be coming out with more videos over the weekend. Have a great weekend, and speak to you guys soon.